Alright, hey guys, welcome back to Firefish channel, it's Kai. So today we actually have set 80009, Piggy's food truck from Lego Monkey Kit set series itself. So this set has around 832 pieces, retailed for around $54.99 USD, and retails for around $99.90 in Singapore. I got it for around 20% off, so $79.90. So this set includes 5 minifigures, which is displayed in the box art over here, which includes Uncle Chow, Pigsy, Monkey Kid, Snort, and Grunt. So without further ado, let's get to the box art of the set. I'm highly excited for this. So first of all, let's look at the top of the box art itself. Basically as the Monkey Kid icon, with this icon over here that represents Monkey King himself. And then there's this Chinese character here, basically refers to Son Goku being a small hero or something like that. And there's the Lego monkey sign, and then yeah, the cloud signs. That reminds me of the flying Nimbus from Dragon Ball actually. So at the top of the set, I really love the box art because unlike other Lego series, they usually don't have this animated show thing. So if you didn't know, Monkey Kid is gonna come out as an animated show for Lego soon. And I'm pretty sure there will be Chinese sub and English dub, like different Lego series for or the Lego show itself. So I'm pretty excited for this new Lego show that's coming out sooner or later. And the backstory of like this show basically is like the aftermath of Journey to the West in Monkey King itself. So it kind of mixes Monkey King storyline with like modern life, all the technology going on and everything. So like I'm guessing Pixie is basically the pig in Journey to the West, one of the disciples of the master of Son Goku or Monkey King himself. So that's pretty interesting. Now for the back of the set, basically this is the box art. It shows some play features like start shooters, and then there's some special effects going on for these blaster pieces. So I'm really looking forward to making the set later on. And then it actually shows some of like the motorcycle of the like Demon Bull King's minions and everything. And then there's those interior design of the set itself, such as Pigsy's food truck. What does it look like inside with the hidden HQ and everything. And then there's how you actually open up the truck to actually look at the interior. So yeah, that's about it for the box art. Now I'm gonna build up the set. As usual, there will be a speed build and then there will be a review. Hope you like it, and if you like it, subscribe to the channel. Ninja never quits. So firstly, we have Uncle Chow, who I assume is a regular customer at Pigsy's food truck, since his accessory comes with a takeover from the store. I also assume that he probably got a takeaway after his work, since he has his suitcase on as well as an accessory. So starting with his face print, other than his happy face, he actually has an alternate face print as shown at the other end, which shows that he actually has a vomiting face. So I'm guessing this face print basically shows the distress he possibly has when he was actually being chased by the Demon Bull minions. If you can see at the front, his torso is actually unique to this minifigure, with the 2 stripes running down and a yellow tie to go with the red torso, and he also comes with a regular light blue leg piece with no prints, as you can see here. Now moving on to the back of the minifigure, you can see that the stripes from the front for the torso itself runs down to the back of the design as well. And also there's the plain light blue pants piece for the minifigure as well. So that's about it for this minifigure. Not really sure what the context of this minifigure is because the official show is not out. But I'm pretty sure he'll be like connected to probably one episode of the Monkey Kid show when it releases. So look forward to that. Now moving on to our next minifigure, we have Pixie, who is the main owner and chef of the food truck. He's given a hat accessory to go with his main role as a chef, and the hat is actually connected to a one-stud design, which I will show you right here, of the minifigure. So for this particular minifigure, the Pigsy actually has a new head mold made by Lego specific to the minifigure. And it doesn't have any alternate face because it is a head mold by itself. So his face expression actually shows some form of concern and confusion, which is probably related to the attack by the Demon Bull minions in the set itself. Moving on to his torso, the torso prints are specific to the minifigure and only appears in this set for Monkey Kid. Other sets for Monkey Kid, although they have Pigsy, actually has his torso being that of a punk rocker kind of style that is different from his official chef costume. So this torso design actually includes his slightly unbuttoned chef costume with a dirty towel, as you can see here. So he actually uses it to, I think, wipe off his sweat off when he's actually working, so it is a little unhygienic. The minifigure uses blue short bendable legs that were actually introduced during the last Harry Potter CMF series in 2018. And he has an accessory which resembles the weapon he uses in Journey to the West, which is the Fox Spear. Now, showing the back of the torso, Pigsy also has his shop's icon printed at the back, with parts of the torso showing actually the towel at the front. So this kind of shows a connection between the front and back torso prints. Now let's move on to the next minifigure. Next we have Monkey Kid, who has 2 face expression. An angry face expression as in the front, and also another one which shows a shocked face expression. So this is rather interesting by the fact. So for the hair piece of the minifigure, it highly suits it with the red band on top, which reminds me a little bit of Monkey King as well. Moving on to the torso of the minifigure has some sauce on his shirt, a Pigsy store symbol, a pen, and an unbuttoned jacket which shows the shirt underneath it, which is rather interesting. So the leg piece to me is actually more interesting than any part of this minifigure because it actually has side prints which Lego does not do much of usually nowadays, which shows some prints of keychains which consist of some Nimbus Cloud prints, which is a reference to the Journey to the West, and if you didn't know, it's actually featured in Dragon Ball itself, which was kind of based on like Journey to the West, Monkey King and everything. So that is pretty interesting. Moving on to the back of the minifigure, it is similar to Pigsy as it has the store icon on it with a half red and half black leg piece. Next, we move on to the Demon King minion. Now we have the Demon King minions, basically called Snort and Grunt. So they are basically completely identical to one another, so I don't really see a point in reviewing them separately. So for these minifigures, the helmet piece is actually exclusive to such minifigures of Monkey King, monkey kid, and is actually a bull helmet with two holes, which actually allows them to attach the holes to the helmet. And there's also a nose ring on the minifigures, so it kind of adds a certain like nice texture to the minifigure, so it's pretty interesting. But there is one part which I don't really like of the minifigure, which is that if I take off the helmet piece, basically their headpiece are completely unprinted, so it's only a bright orange transparent headpiece, and that's all for the minifigure, which I don't like. So now for the torso of the minifigure, it actually consists of some armor, and you can actually see part of their muscles down beneath the armor as well, so that's pretty interesting. So if you can see on their armor, there's actually this symbol on it. So basically in Chinese character translated to English, that basically means cow or bull in English, which makes sense because they are part of the Demon King's minions and all. So now let's move on to the back of the minifigure. So for the back of the minifigure, you can actually see that other than armor, they actually feature some machinery prints on the back of their torso. So it kind of shows that they might be half machinery instead of full organic villains. So that's pretty interesting. Looking forward to what the show actually has to feature on these facts. So one thing I forgot to mention is that other than having those gray normal legs, their accessories actually include a stud shooter and this thing which, if you didn't know, just to kind of mention that it looks like Technoblade, and I totally agree with that. I almost thought it was a Technoblade if I didn't watch that particular video. So basically this is just a brick build weaponry of some sort, probably an axe or something like that. So yeah, that's about it for the minifigures. Now let's move on to the main review of the sets. Now for the main review of the set, I'm gonna start with the side builds first, basically the two motorbikes owned by Snot and Grunt. So they have around the same design with horns on each of the bikes itself, if you can see at the front. Then otherwise, they actually only differ in terms of one bike is actually attached to a chain, as you can see over here. I'm gonna move it around. So this chain is actually attached to this stolen peaches that this characters actually want to steal from the food truck, I think, which they probably managed to steal. So you can see over here, I'm going to deattach it and then you'll see this is the design of the peach itself. So this peach is actually basically this is a sticker on it which says, if I translate to in English, it basically means holy peaches in English. So that's pretty interesting. So the peaches inside, which I'm going to show you, this peaches I actually printed pieces by itself. So that's pretty interesting, and Lego actually provided two of those pieces. So other than the peaches and like the design of the bike itself with some lighting designs at the front and with a holder for like the stud shooters and etc., there's not much to the design of this side builds for this motorbikes itself. So that's about it for the side builds. Now let's move on to the long awaited main build of the set, the food truck. Let's go. Now for the final main build of the set, which is the food truck is, for starters, really bulky. I did not expect it to be that big. And it's made out of 800 plus pieces if you take note of how many pieces they are used for the other, like minifigures and side builds. So I absolutely love the aesthetic for start. And starting at the front, we actually have this design over here, which actually resembles the fox spear as I showed to y'all for Pigsy. Yeah, this fox spear over here is exactly the same as the front design of the truck. So it really gives a representation that the owner of this truck is really Pixie in that case, and it gives like a kind of reference to Journey to the West as well. So that's really cool that Lego actually made this design in it. So going more in depth with the fox spear design of the truck, basically it consists of unicorn horn pieces at the front, and as I go through the review of this set, you will know that there's a lot of this unicorn pieces. But I do suggest removing it because some of those that are on the wheels, they will be really easily like removed when you try to actually play with it. Especially for kids, I would recommend just taking it out if you're buying this for your kids. So yeah. So this fox spear design is basically connected by 3 Technic pins over here. So that's about it for the fox spear at the start. and the front of the truck itself. So the top of on top of this fox spear design, there's a sausage attaching it, so that's pretty interesting as well. So as I go through this set review, you also notice that there are a lot of hidden sausages in this set. One example being that of, if I open the front with this amazing sticker over here which represents Pixie's food store, there's another 2 sausages on it, including with the engine inside, which is pretty funny. I have no idea why the sausages are in there, to be honest. Now for the side design of the truck itself, just note that both sides are kind of the same in terms of exterior. So all wheels actually have this unicorn horn thing, as I mentioned, which can be a hindrance because it drops out very easily. So the design of the set exterior in entirety really is supported, and its aesthetics is supported by all the stickers used. They are absolutely amazing in terms of boosting the aesthetics of the set. So let's move on with the first sticker of set. So in translation, basically this means Pixie's noodle store actually. So over here, the green tag over here actually says that it's on 20% off with a large variety of food, and then its flavor is above all. It's fantastic basically. And then this sticker over here basically says the same thing as this one in the smaller icon, and then it actually represents some of the food they actually sell, such as noodles, sausages, and pop buns. And then the door over here actually says that it has a secret recipe of its own or something of that sort. And then there's a bow staff here that's not usually seen for Lego nowadays. So that's about it for the side of the truck itself. So now for the last part of the exterior, the end of the truck. So it has basic designs with horns over here, and also like the car number. As usual, it's by a sticker with a ventilation design as well, which is not usually seen on trucks or truck designs for Lego. So that's about it for the exterior. And then of course there's also those lightings and pieces for those lightings that I thought Lego no longer use, but apparently they still use those pieces. So if you didn't know, those pieces are usually found in Lego town sets back in the 1990s, and then Lego are starting to use it again. So now let's move on to the interior. Now opening up the food truck, basically we have the menu at the side, if you can see, which actually sells noodles at $10, sausages at $5, and pop bun at $2. So that's pretty interesting. So at the front we actually have 2 pop buns with some sauces next to it, and there's also a pot, and I'm going to show you that right now because that is pretty interesting. So the design of this actually includes a pop bun inside of the build itself. So over here there's 1 pop bun inside, so that's pretty interesting for you to get. And then beside it there's of course 2 sauces for any customers to add it in. Okay, I can actually put back the pot now, but yeah. So there's a lot of interior design for this set in particular. So for this set, if you can see, there's actually a gold frog over at this side of it, which is probably some superstition thing that they pray or something. And after that, there's some knives over here that Pigsy used to cut up his ingredients, ketchup and mustard, which is always interesting and important inside a food store. And then there's some cutleries and utensils he probably uses to cook his food. And holy crap, sorry about spoilers. Anyways, so this is, you didn't see anything there, so this is actually a grill for the set itself, and then there's hot dogs over here and a wok over there, and on top there are some spare equipment that he uses for cooking and some spare ingredients like hot dogs as well. So that's about it for the side of this food truck. Now before I move on to the other side of the food truck, of course I want to let you all see the interior of the driver's seat. So this is basically the interior of the driver's seat design. There's not much to it, just with a driving wheel and 2 seats for 2 different passengers, which I recommend Pixie and Monkey Kid himself to sit inside. So you can actually put on 2 different characters or 2 different minifigures into the build. And then there's a lever for you to accelerate the car, and 2 windshields over here, and that's about it for the front driver's seat of the set. So now let's move on to the last part, which is the other side of the truck. Now let's open up the other side of the Pixie's food truck. So different from the other side, whereby basically the sales of Popeye, noodles and everything is happening, this side of Pigsy food truck shows another different side of the food truck itself. So other than selling food as usual to customers, it's really more interesting than that. If you turn this grill around, it's no longer a grill, is it? It's some sort of electronic device that is used for spying enemies. An emergency button, if you will. Then you can just switch it around as usual and it will seem like a grill. And if you open this part up, I'm going to show you on top of it. Basically, it's not just a normal design for this. If you open it up, basically what you see is there's a monitor for whatever villains that are coming towards you. So once the Demon Bull minions come, Pixie will know about it because he has an inner monitor in his food truck design. So this food truck is not only just a food truck, it is a hero's HQ to a certain extent. So that is incredibly cool, I would say. Kids would love this design, to be honest. And then there's of course these normal crates over here that are used to store some ingredients, which I store some of the spare parts that Lego actually provided, which I will show you later. And then this crate I don't actually have to show you because it's just empty. And another cool feature to this that shows that this is a hero HQ is basically this door over here. You might think that inside there's actually a freezer, but there's no ingredients inside. It stores a weapon that Monkey Kid uses over here, and then there's this blaster piece that I'm pretty sure Pixie will use in the future to blast some villains out in the sky. So that's right, guys. So this food truck can apply for both city builds, and also it can apply for action pack city builds as well. So that's pretty interesting. You can apply to any kind of context, so it gives a large variety of contexts this set can be introduced into. So that's why I would highly recommend y'all to buy the set. Note that the only way to close this truck properly is basically you need to close that door. If you open it up completely, you can't actually close the door. So yeah, that's about it for the build of this set. We have one last thing to elaborate about, which is on the very top of the set itself. So the top of the set features what will you call it? Yes, a pig icon on the top. So this pig icon is not just like a slogan or like for identity of Pixie's food truck or what. If you look properly, there are actually studs on top, a stud blaster which has around 6 pieces of studs. So what you do is basically, if you look properly, just spin this and then everything will ouch. And that's about it. So basically you spin this from the back and then you can move it whichever way you want to, and then it kind of shoots in whatever direction you want to. So that's pretty interesting. I feel like this is a pretty good feature for kids to play nowadays. So this set as a whole is not only a good display set for adults to keep, it's also a good play set for kids to play around with. Although I kind of recommend that maybe you do something with the stud things if you have kids at home, because I don't really feel like it's kind of safe for kids to use. Because if they try to aim it at like their siblings' eyes, I'm kind of afraid that someone would get hurt a little bit. So maybe it's not as kids friendly for this particular part of it. So otherwise, I would say that this set with its minifigures and its design is excellent for its price, and I highly recommend y'all to buy this set. That's about it for the set design and set review. So if you liked the video, subscribe to my channel, and if you don't, comment on it. Ninja never quits, and see y'all on the next one. Bye.